Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of the Paranormal Trucker. I am the Paranormal Trucker, formerly known as Croncat. You can call me PT for short, or you can just call me by my given name, Bart. With me today is the Snowman, my co-host, formerly known as Old Man Croncat.
Hello, everybody.
And then we have formerly known as Pamela Anderson, also now known as Large Marge.
Hello.
We're just going to do a short episode today to kind of get the wheels rolling, to show you guys, kind of talk about a little bit about ourselves and what we're going to be doing in the future. Snowman, you want to take it away?
Oh gosh, put me on the spot here. Okay, well, I kind of got interested in this stuff back in the 70s. Probably early 70s. I was 10 years old, something like that. And over in Pikeville, in the newspaper, every week was a Bigfoot story. There was people over on Bent Mountain, going between Pikeville and Williamson. Supposedly a Bigfoot was jumping out and beating on the cars as they were driving by.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh, I followed this story for weeks, and then it come to find out it was just some dude in a gorilla suit, and I think somebody shot him. The reason he got caught, but I was hooked after that. So
I love it.
Now it's like I'm kind of into the conspiracy theory stuff and UFOs, all that.
Oh yeah, definitely. So that's what got you into it. Was
that's what got me hooked.
Was kind of a fake story, a prank.
Fake story. Yes.
Well, and I can kind of attest to my involvement, I guess, from a young age. Really, was because I was raised with Snowman. He taught me from a young age to use my imagination and think outside the box. And of course, the household was Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars. So it was just a natural thing that I was going to end up looking for UFOs and paranormal type stuff. The title of the show is The Paranormal Trucker. I'm a trucker. So I'm going forward. We're going to do what?
I'm not.
So going forward, what our plan is. Large Marge is a trucker. But going forward, kind of what our plan is to talk about, stuff that's seen on the road, as well as unexplained UFO type stuff, conspiracy type stuff, and really just kind of anything that catches our fancy. We'll be talking a lot about new technology and maybe some new sci-fi movies, stuff like that. Large Marge, I didn't give you a chance to tell us how you got into it.
Well, I was fortunate enough to be raised in a small little town on the river in Ohio, on the Ohio River, across from Cincinnati. And the house that I was raised in was extremely active. And then come to find out, we'll talk about it more in the future, but it was built right over the Underground Railroad where the slaves were taken during the Civil War.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of it gets into that. And so since I've been a young child, because I knew the house, it was just common practice for us to hear things and live with things. And because of that, I've always been interested. And I've done a lot of research. I've been to other paranormal sites. So it's always been a hobby of mine.
Well, definitely. That's a good way to. So it sounds like everyone kind of got into it at a young age and kind of instilled into us at a young age, and it's kind of developed who we turned out to be as adults.
And one other thing I want to add, I think a lot of it, I'm very sensitive, I call it, and I think it's because I'm Native American. And I know that sounds silly, but I honestly do believe it's that way, why I'm more sensitive to situations. So I have that interest as well.
Well, definitely. And we've talked about, not on the show or anything, but you and I have talked about Native Americans and their belief systems and things like that, as far as, you know, how they were in tune with the land and everything around them. And, you know, I've always been a big proponent, I guess, of even if, you know, the Big Bang Theory, everything came from one point in the universe. We're all connected to the rocks, the trees, the water, the stars, the everything. And so a lot of people will say, you know, you have a sixth sense or a gut feeling. That's the ripples in the fabric of reality that's saying, hey, either danger's here or there's something about to happen. I feel like. Now I noticed your painting above your head there, Large Marge. Did you do that?
I did do that. It's
That's beautiful.
Thank you very much. I have a lot. I do paint, and I have a lot of Native American art that I do. It's a very interesting topic for me.
Well, it's very cool. Now, both of you are.
Thank you.
It's very cool. I like it. And you have another one too. That's probably one of my favorites. Is a horse. And I'm sure we'll get into that later on.
Yes.
But now both of you are very creative individuals. I don't know how I came from Snowman, because I couldn't paint or draw to save my life, but he is an artist as well. He's
Yes,
also
he
a
is.
very talented do-it-yourself kind of guy, and maybe that may be some of the stuff we cover on here later on going forward, is maybe he has some projects, some UFO type stuff. I know he's a big guy into scale models, and I know some I've seen some of his scale models that are sci-fi related, and they're pretty cool. So hopefully we'll get to see some of that
Very good
going forward. Come on,
That's a cue for you to talk.
Yeah, Snowman, come on.
That's a segue, bub.
I know that I'm a little slow. We may get into that a little later.
So just like I said, this is going to be kind of a short, introduction, kind of really fly by night kind of thing. Not a fly by night kind of thing, but we're just kind of winging it today. We're trying to figure out the best way to go about this. And huge shout out to Seth of Seth's Daily Podcast for turning me on to Zoom. I never really thought about using Zoom for a podcast, but it's going to be very cool. The last podcast show I was on, we didn't really do any video or very much, so you didn't get to see what we saw, my face or whatever. And for those of you who have to see my face today, I apologize, but we will hopefully we will address that in the future. Do you guys have anything else? Maybe a short story? Kathy, you have like a short story from, daggone it, I said your name. Large Marge, do you have maybe a short story from your childhood that you were telling us about? Maybe you can entertain us
I'd
with?
be happy to tell you one. I'm so excited to do this podcast. I want to get with other like-minded individuals that are interested in this subject matter. Let's see. Let me think of a quick one. Oh, here's a quick one. The city had bought our house because they wanted that riverfront property. We lived right on the river. So the city had bought our house, and the night that we moved out, we were going to move out the next morning. There were 4 large trees in our right-hand side of the property, and then there was an empty lot on the right of that. And those trees were, I don't know, 100 years old, I guess. Got up that morning and all 4 of the trees had fell over into the empty lot. No, we didn't have any storms, anything. The whole root systems were up out of the ground.
Oh, really?
Yes. So yeah, I'm talking about major. These were major events that happened at this house. It wasn't just, ooh, is that a noise? No. This was poltergeist activity to the fullest.
Holy cow. So, I mean, it takes a lot of force to pull up 100-year-old trees
and lay
them down.
There was no storms. There was nothing.
So you all didn't hear the noise. You didn't hear the trees falling in the middle of the night or anything. Wow.
No, we didn't even notice it till we got up the next morning. And the house on the other side of the empty lot, we talked to them and they didn't hear anything either.
Wow. So it's almost like something just pulled them up and laid them over.
Laid them over, yeah, or just pushed them over, yeah,
Wow.
individually. Yeah, this was very, very eye-opening, to say the least.
Definitely.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of stuff that I want to share and talk about and analyze and see other opinions about it. I had a whole childhood, so I have tons of stories to tell.
Well, we're very interested in that and looking forward to that. Snowman,
Thank
what
you.
you got?
Well, a few years ago, I used to be the manager of a paint store, and was taking a delivery over to Grundy. And
Now,
so
Grundy, what is Grundy?
Grundy, Virginia.
Grundy, Virginia. Okay.
And I get up to Shelbyana, where it goes into Justiceville, and it's a 2-lane road. And as I'm just starting, it was like the very first house that I came up to. There was I see this little kid standing on the bank just across the ditch from the road, and there's a van coming towards me. And as that van gets up about where the kid's at, all of a sudden this kid takes off running across the road. Well, he goes in behind the van, and I mean, I locked that truck up, and it was the wheels were squalling and everything else. The van went by, and there's nothing there.
Oh, really?
No
So
kid, nothing, except for a couple old guys down at a business, a couple places down, and they're sitting there looking like, what kind of idiot is that right there? Because I locked them up. I thought for sure I'd killed somebody at that moment. But it was just a little kid, ran out behind the van, and he wasn't there when the van went by.
So no one else saw that.
No, as
Interesting.
far as I know, no one else saw it. And
Wow.
at first, it kind of weirded me out a little bit, and then but now I kind of look at, I'd like to do some research and see if maybe a child got killed there at some point. Ran out in front of a car. But I've just never done the research on it. But that's probably the weirdest thing that's happened to me on the road.
Well, now's the perfect time to start doing that research there, Snowman.
I'll have to do that.
Well, I guess we're going to wrap it up. Again, my name is the Paranormal Trucker, formerly known as Cronkite. You can call me PT or Bart for short. I have the Snowman with me and Large Marge, and us three will be bringing you stories of the unknown and unexplained, as well as some interesting other stuff, new technologies, do-it-yourself stuff that, like I said, I have 2 artists here and I'm just a truck driver. So we're going to be exploring quite a bit of stuff.
Well, before we get off here, I just need to say one thing. I was smoking when this thing was going on. For all the kids out there, don't do it. It's a pain in the butt. So don't do it. That's just my public safety message for the day.
Well, yeah, and you're a late bloomer too. You weren't a smoker all your life, were you?
I know that's your fault.
Listen,
them big fancy cigars when you lived in North Carolina. Hey, get one. Arnold Schwarzenegger smoked that.
Yeah, well, I was just, you smoke them every once in a while. You're Swisher Sweet now.
Yeah, I know.
All righty. You guys have any final words before we take out of here?
I'd like to say, tell them Large Marge sent you.
I love it. All right, guys, we will see you next week. We're going to try to do a show every week, probably drop on Sundays. And we're going to do a little longer show next week, probably stay around about an hour. And then we'll go from there. If you want to get in contact with us, you can reach out to our email. It's theparanormaltrucker@yahoo.com. You can put an attention line if you want it to go to any three of the hosts, or if you just have a general thought or idea. Anything that you want us to check out, look into, talk about, we're all about it. We have been kicking around the idea of maybe doing a Patreon page. We don't know really how that will go yet. We don't know anything about that stuff. So be doing some more research and checking back in with you later. Okay.
All right.
And before we go, I guess I want to give a huge shout out to Justin from Talk Junkie. A fantastic show. Go check it out. You can find it wherever you listen to podcasts at. Seth from Seth Daily Podcast and his co-host Tracy, great guys. I was on there a couple weeks ago promoting this show. So again, he turned me on to Zoom for podcasts, and it's a fantastic idea. Thank you, Seth, so much. And of course, my dear friend, good friend Elliot and his spooky family. Listen to it anywhere you can find high quality podcasts. Fantastic episodes. I know we've all three listened to their episodes, and they're spot on. They're perfect. For now, I guess that'll do it for now. And we will see you next Sunday.
Bye.
Bye.